She came in like she owned the place. I mean, it head held high, heels clacking against the tile floor, that kind of swagger that tells you she's not here to order a drink. She's here to be seen. And buddy, she made sure of that. It was a warm Thursday afternoon at our downtown bubble tea shop, one of those cozy little spots where sunlight floods through big windows and neon signs glow like pastel candy. We get all kinds college kids with earbuds, moms with toddlers, young couples with shared straws, and awkward silences. It's a space where nobody's trying too hard to impress anyone. Until Vanessa sauntered in. Vanessa Summers never seen her before, but from the second she walked in with that oversized Dior bag and phone already rolling, I could tell she was someone who thought the world owed her a standing ovation. Didn't even glance at the line, just marched right up to the counter, cutting off a poor dad trying to order for his twins. "I need 20 drinks," she snapped, flipping her hair like she was in some shampoo ad. "Custom. All of them. No ice. Half sugar. Some extra pearls, others light boba. I don't want any mango, and if I taste strawberry, I'll know." I was the one behind the register that day, and I blinked like maybe I heard wrong. 20? For here, or to go? She gave me a look like I had just asked if water was wet. To go. Obviously. I'm promoting you guys. We'd had big orders before, birthday parties, office pickups, even a bridal shower once. But this wasn't that. This felt performative. It wasn't about the drinks. It was about the show. I rang it up while the others hustled to prep. The total? $126.74. Not outrageous for 20 drinks, but nothing to sneeze at either. When I turned the screen toward her, she smiled slow, smug. Pulled out her phone like she was unveiling some rare artifact. "I'm Vanessa Summers," she said, showing us her TikTok. 85,000 followers. That means these are free. You should be thanking me. Now, let me tell you, there's a moment in customer service when time slows down. When you're just waiting to see if this is a joke, or if you're about to be dragged into something that ends up on Reddit. "I'm sorry," I said gently, glancing at my manager, who was already watching from the back. "But we don't do comp drinks for influencer promotion unless it's pre-approved. We treat everyone the same." Her smile cracked. "You treat everyone the same? Honey, everyone doesn't bring you the kind of exposure I do." She turned back to her phone, hit go live, and boomway, we're on camera. "So I'm here at this local boba shop," she said to her audience, "and they're refusing to honor my influence. Can you believe that?" She panned the camera across the shop, catching unsuspecting customers mid-bite, mid-sip. One lady ducked. A college kid gave her a thumbs down. I could feel the room shift, the kind of silent energy where everyone's thinking, "Oh great, here we go." My manager, Maria, stepped up, thin cool as a cucumber, firm but fair. "Ma'am, we appreciate the support, but we cannot fulfill any order without payment." "You don't get it," Vanessa snapped. "Exposure is currency now. I'm giving you free marketing. That's worth more than your cheap drinks." Maria didn't even flinch. "Our prices reflect the effort of our staff and quality of our ingredients. We don't trade that for hashtags." That's when Vanessa lost it. Full meltdown. Voice rising. Accusing us of discrimination, of being anti-woman, anti-creator, anti-progress. She started filming customers too, asking them if they thought she deserved free drinks. Most just looked away. "They're trying to cancel me for asking what I've earned," she cried, like this was a trial instead of a tea shop. Security got called. She refused to leave. Swore up and down she'd take the drinks anyway. Said, "I dare you to stop me." Cops arrived. 2 officers. One of them a black woman who looked like she'd dealt with way worse before brunch. She approached calm, hands open, and said, "Ma'am, you need to either pay for your order or vacate the premises." Vanessa doubled down. "This is a violation. I'm being targeted for being successful." The officers listened, took statements, reviewed the footage. They were patient, even kind. But eventually, they told her if she didn't cooperate, she'd be removed. She still wouldn't budge. So yeah, she got arrested. Right there, next to the fridge with the popping lychee jellies. People clapped. Not in a cruel way, but in that relieved, slow kind of applause that says thank you for restoring order to the universe. She went viral all right, but not the way she wanted. Her meltdown made the rounds online, stitched, duet, captioned with things like, "The entitled era is over." Our shop got an outpouring of support. New customers came in just to say, "Hey, thanks for standing your ground." Vanessa? Well, turns out influence isn't enough to avoid community service and court fees. She had to pay restitution, attend a civility course, and issue a formal apology online, though let me tell you, it didn't exactly go over well. Funny thing is, a few weeks later, a girl came in wearing a hoodie that said, "Respect the barista." She ordered politely, tipped big, and said her mom made her come. It was Vanessa's daughter. Quiet, kind, and clearly mortified. I gave her drink on the house. Not because of who her mom was, but because of who she was. So yeah, we remember that day. Not because of the drama, but because of what it reminded us. Respect still matters. Entitlement might shout loud, but kindness echoes. And hey, now we've got a new house rule on the menu board. No clout, no comp. Pay or pass. What do you think? Should influence be a form of currency? Or are some people just using it as an excuse to dodge basic decency? Let us know in the comments below. And if you ever stop by our shop, bring your smile, not your follower count. You know, I never thought a Tuesday afternoon would end with police tape outside a bubble tea shop. But there I was, leaning against my car across the street, watching them walk her out, phone still recording, voice still rising like she was the one being wronged. And I just stood there, stunned, with my mango green tea in hand, trying to wrap my head around everything that had just happened. Her name wasn't Karen, not legally. It was Elise Monroe, an aspiring influencer, according to her TikTok profile that she made sure everyone in the store saw. But to the folks working at Steep and Pearl, and everyone caught in that strange, exhausting whirlwind, she'll always just be that Karen who walked in and tried to turn bubble tea into a battleground for validation. When she first marched in, it was like the whole shop inhaled. Elise didn't order a drink, she delivered a monologue. 20 drinks, each customized like a science experiment, spoken like a demand, not a request. And the staff? They stayed calm. They smiled, nodded, tapped buttons, didn't flinch when the total hit triple digits. But when Elise whipped out that phone and waved it like a VIP badge, saying, "I'm an influencer, these should be free," it was like something cracked. Not just in the store's atmosphere, but in the collective patience of everyone around her. At first, it was awkwardly funny. A few of us exchanged glances. One teenager whispered, "Oh no, it's happening." But then it wasn't funny anymore. It turned into yelling. Accusations. Her filming the barista's face like they were villains in her livestream saga. That poor kid behind the counter just kept repeating, "We treat all customers the same, ma'am." And that only made Elise angrier. And I think that's where this story really lives, not in her entitlement, but in their restraint. Because let me tell you, they could have lost it. They could have clapped back, said something that would have gone viral in its own right. But they didn't. They just stood their ground. Politely. Firmly. And when things started to spiral, they called the manager. When Elise refused to pay and threatened to leave with the drinks, they called security. And when she refused them to still live, still shouting, they called the cops. By the time the officers arrived, the vibe in the shop had gone cold. I saw one little girl clutch her mom's arm tighter, another couple quietly slide their drinks aside. Elise was still going now, claiming discrimination, censorship, some conspiracy against content creators, but the officer, a woman in her 40s with kind but no-nonsense eyes, calmly explained the law. Payment was required. Filming wasn't a free pass. If she refused to cooperate, they'd have to escort her out. She resisted, of course, she did, loudly, dramatically, but eventually, she was let out. And the second those glass doors shut behind her, it was like the whole place exhaled. People started clapping. Someone shouted, "Give the barista a raise." And someone else, bless them, bought the kid behind the counter a donut from next door. I hung around a little longer, I don't know why. Maybe just to watch the normal come back. The music was still playing. The blender still whirred. New customers came in, side-eyeing the quiet drama cleanup. And that same barista? He was already back at work, calling out a name and handing someone a strawberry slush with extra pearls. It's funny, right? How something so small, a drink order, can spiral into this full-blown cultural flashpoint. Entitlement versus respect. Social media versus real-world rules. And behind it all, regular folks just trying to do their jobs and keep the line moving. I don't know what happened to Elise after that. I heard she tried to sue for defamation, said the shop ruined her brand. But I also heard the city made her take a community awareness course and pay damages. Her follower count took a hit. And a couple local news stations even ran a segment on how to treat service workers with respect. But me? I still come to Steep and Pearl once a week. I say hi to the staff, tip a little extra, and yeah, sometimes I think about that day. About how close we live to chaos. How easy it is to forget that someone else is just trying to get through their shift, their afternoon, their life. So, let me ask you this: if you were in that bubble tea shop, watching it all unfold, would you have said something? Filmed it? Spoken up? Or just quietly sipped your drink and hoped it would blow over? I'd really like to hear what you think about entitlement, accountability, and what it means to be part of a shared space in today's world. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Because in the end, it's not just about bubble tea, it's about how we treat each other when the camera is rolling and when it's not.